Alright, welcome back everybody. I'm going to show you another way to bring objects into Unity from 3ds Studio Max, one that is really cool, convenient, and has a few issues you need to be aware of if you choose to do it. So before we exported our model as an FBX, we embedded the media, meaning the texture that came with it, and then we brought it into Unity. That works fine. The benefit with that version is that you don't really need to maintain any link between Unity and 3ds Studio Max. You're working with them as if they're totally independent of one another. This new way I'm going to show you is a little bit different. I'm going to come into Unity. I'm here inside my project. And in the project view, I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to call this folder Max Assets. Now you can call it anything you want, but the idea is that you're going to create a folder into which you're going to place any models that you have created inside 3ds Studio Max. Once I've got that folder created, I just need to make sure that I remember where my project is. So in my case, I've got the creatively named new Unity project is my project name, and then here's my assets. All right. I'm going to go back to 3ds Studio Max, and here I've got a model that's similar to the one we looked at in the last video. I've just flattened a box down that's going to be a floor. Now I'm going to go up to the Max file, and instead of doing export, I'm going to do a save as. Then I'm going to locate that Unity project. So if you remember, in my case, it was not very creative. It was simply called new Unity project. There it is. And here's that assets folder, and there's that Max assets folder. I'll give my entire scene file a name. I'm calling it Boring Box 2. And I'll save that. Now watch this. Because I've saved that entire scene into the assets folder of my Unity project, when I come into Unity, in the background, it will have been importing that scene. And there it is. And it will include that texture with it. So I can take that and drag it out into my scene and drop it, and boom, just like that, I've got the object inside Unity. Now, there are lots of benefits to this. Obviously, you have that automatic import taking place. So if I go back into Studio Max, and let's say I want to change some element of this object. For example, I can open up my materials, and let's say I'm gonna grab that tiled floor, and let's say also I'm gonna change the length of this thing to 15, let's say. When I click Save, in the background in Unity, it's going to recognize that something has changed, and it's going to automatically apply those changes to the object that's inside my project. And look at that, just like that, I've changed the size of my floor, and I've changed the texture applied to it as well. Problems with this, or less problems, but things that you need to be aware of, is that I've now created a connection between these two programs, right? If I now were to go and move this file somewhere else, I'll break the link between this scene and 3ds Studio Max. It doesn't cause a giant problem, but it means that I will no longer be able to do this immediate back and forth like I've been doing so far. That's it. Pretty neat.